What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why I am getting Crash Team Rumble. So this is where I talk about an upcoming game and discuss whether I'm getting it, not getting it, or I'm somewhere in between. And there's quite a few things to talk about with Crash Team Rumble. I want to use this opportunity in this video to talk about, well, how much I'm excited for it, but also the content that I want to do. This is one of the big games, I think, of June. You know, when you think of June, you think of Street Fighter and Diablo and Final Fantasy 16, as you should. But Crash Team Rumble, we're going to talk a little bit about the beta in this video because this game surprised the living heck out of me, and you can see it in real time. All the video footage, all the evidence is there for me being a skeptic, and I'm still a skeptic in some regard. I don't know if this game can last long term, if it can last, say, more than a month or two. And you could say, well, I mean, does it need to? And I would counter and say, probably. I mean, if you're Activision, if you're Toys for Bob, it's a multiplayer game. It relies on its modes, it relies on its characters, it relies on a player base playing the game consistently. It relies on a battle pass, like a season pass, and these seasons are long. These seasons are months and months long. So, you know, if you want to get to season 2 or 3, and we're going to get Spyro and characters like that, the game needs to survive until, you know, maybe Christmas. Maybe if it can last until the end of 2023, that would be a success for the game. But look, at the end of the day, there is a difference between success for them, like what they would consider successful, the player count, player base, or how many people are playing at any given day for these months. Then there's also my personal enjoyment, which is, can this game be fun and can be repetitive fun, where you can jump in, you can play it a bunch, you could jump out for weeks on end, go back in, you skip July, you go back in August for the next season or September or whatever, and you just have a blast. And I think the answer to that is yes. So game obviously comes out June 20th, just a few weeks away. I've already pre-ordered it. In fact, that's how you get into the beta, right? Is you pre-order the game. So it's already locked in. A lot of times when I make these why I'm getting videos, I haven't pre-ordered. I'm normally very strictly opposed. I don't like pre-ordering games. It's one of my least favorite things to do. For Crash, I just really want to try that beta, right? Because that's almost a make or break thing. I had talked to some people. I think it's possible to get a refund if say you absolutely hated it. So I took the leap and I said, all right, well, I'll do the $30 and I'll play the game for the beta. And I ended up playing that game for about 15 or so hours, about 15 hours in like a 3-day span. I played with the PlayStation Access team when they did their live stream and they had community members play. I actually played on their team and I was dominant. I don't want to stroke my ego, but I became a human god in that game. And it's just a blast. It's an absolute blast to play. Now, as these weeks go on, I'm going to do some kind of tips and tricks and introductory kind of videos of what is this game, how do you play it, how do you get good at certain characters. I got quite a few kind of help videos, let's say, ready to go and ready to make. But the game did shock me. I really didn't think it was going to be this fun, but it's an absolute blast. It's a blast to play as more than one character. It's a blast to play as more than one position. You generally should play your position. It's not as rigid, I would say, as something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When I'm recording this, you know, it's the very end, if not the technical test is already over at this point. And for that game, you need to play your role. If you're not playing your role, your team, whether you're the killers or victims, you have absolutely no chance. I don't know which one I actually prefer over the other, but I do like in Crash that your characters are obviously good at something, and you probably should play it that way. But if you want it to be a little daring, I think there's room to do whatever you want. So if you want to play as Dingodile and not just kind of camp or annoy the other team, if you want to do other things, you can. It's maybe not the best idea, but you could probably get away with it as long as your team's, you know, going well. When this game is clicking, it is an absolute blast. When this game is clicking, you just hit next match over and over and over and over. It's really just going to be, again, like I said, about maps, you know, the kind of a differentiating one map from the other. Can all these maps kind of be fun in their own unique way? Characters, you gotta be able to give us a lineup throughout these seasons, right? Keep it going. I'm actually recording this on the day that they announced that, well, I don't even know if they announced it, but Engine is definitely in it, and he's a booster, so that's awesome. So, you know, we gotta pretty sizable roster. I mean, I could always have more. I could always want, a couple extra characters for when the game launches, but characters are obviously going to be so important, right? Because they can get deep. I mean, that's another thing I kind of learned from this beta. Number one, it is a little bit more complex than just getting fruit and returning it to your base. There's a lot of kind of smaller little strategies that you can do in this game. Number two, it's way more fun than you think it should be for the kind of game. In fact, Activision has kind of made fun of that themselves, like kind of joked about it, where they've had, these blog posts where they said the number one word I think they saw was surprising. Like, it's surprisingly good. And, they kind of laughed at that. And it's like, that's good, because honestly, a game like this, as I've said 1,000 times and I'll continue to say it, this is still not the Crash game I wanted. Like, I'll take a Crash 5. I would take a Spyro 4. I would take like a Crash Bash remake. Now, I am perfectly fine with this game because I love the beta, and I see no reason why I wouldn't love the base game. But this isn't what I would have pitched. This is not something, again, I don't know if this is going to last more than a few months. I really don't know if it's going to have the player base for it. But, if it does succeed, if maybe they do kind of like free-to-play weekends or some sort of time period in the summer and the fall where anybody could play, right, for like a limited time, that would probably be pretty smart. There are some weaknesses here, but overall, the thing shocked the living heck out of me because I didn't think it would be this fun. So, I could keep saying that over and over again. At the end of the day, that is why I'm getting it. It was an addictive thing to me. I became addicted to this game. And like I said, it was only out for 3-4 days. I played it like 15 hours. I couldn't stop. I played it multiple hours each and every day. And then when they took it away from me, I felt like I saw other kind of Crash content creators or people on Twitter that were streaming or recording themselves as the servers went off. And we kind of all had that disappointment together. And even like the day after, I was like kind of sitting here, doing the videos, doing the work, and thinking, I miss it. Like, it's one of the very few games, when a new game kind of comes out and you say, oh, I always am thinking about it, I always want to play it. I actually had that for Crash, which I really didn't think I would. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of different videos for Crash, both leading into it, and then when the game releases, I'll be live streaming and stuff like that. If you want to play with me, I have it on PlayStation. I pre-ordered on PlayStation. Friend me on PlayStation. You can friend me on Xbox. Friend me anywhere. Just podcast now. You'll see the logo when you look for me. I always accept those, and we'll see if we can kind of get some sort of group together. I definitely want to organize some events and play Crash, with the community. So anybody who's going to get the game, hit me up and we'll make something happen. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next one.